Hey, what's good? Now that the Chicago Bears have what they consider a franchise quarterback and a stud head coach, they're going all in on improving everything about the team, including the stadium. Right now, they play their games in Soldier Field, which is on the near south side of Chicago, up against the lake. And sure, it was remodeled in 2002, but nothing beats a whole new home built from the ground up. So let's watch inside the Chicago Bears 4.7 billion, and that's with a B, $4.7 billion stadium upgrade from the Build It Big channel. For 4.7, it better be big. I'm going to be working on texturing some models in Photoshop and Blender, but before we get into it, remember to go to coconutjustice.com and get you some clothes that I think would look good on you. Let's go. 4.7 billion with a B. That's amazing. That's an amazing amount of money. And I think, I wonder if he's going to get into it, but this new stadium is supposed to happen just a little bit north of where the Soldier Field is. And this is around the same area that they were supposed to put the Obama Library, same area they're supposed to put the Star Wars Museum or the Lucasfilm Museum, but it happens. Friends of the park got in the way of the Star Wars Museum, and then George Lucas freaked out and just built it in LA, and it's supposedly supposed to be opening up sometime this year. I'm not sure if any of the external influences have, like the fires and stuff like that. I don't know if any of that has interrupted the Star Wars Museum, but we're talking about the Bears and building this stuff. So what they're trying to do is they're trying to build this new stadium on the lake. And then if it doesn't work out, if that falls through, then there is a small little city just outside Chicago called Arlington Heights. And their big thing back in the day was they had this horse racing track. And it's been, as long as I can remember, as long as the Bears have been looking for a new stadium, Arlington Heights has been in the mix this whole time. So roughly what they're trying to do is if the Bears do move to Arlington Heights, what's going to happen is they already bought the land from the Arlington Heights horse racing folks. And they're just, from what I saw a couple weeks ago, the Bears organization made a deal or came to an agreement with the city of Arlington Heights as far as taxes, property taxes, and all that stuff goes. I don't know how I feel about that because, I live close to San Francisco, and the 49ers play like a straight up hour and a half away in Santa Clara. It's going to be the same situation with the Bears. It's not quite as far as that, but it's still like Arlington Heights. But the only good thing about Arlington Heights is, I-90 goes through there. What's the other one? I can't remember the one that's vertical. I forget. Anyway, the cool thing about that is there's that huge mall. Woodfield Mall is there in that same area, like maybe 5-10 minutes away from where they might build the stadium. But again, it's Chicago Bears, and I don't know. As long as I've been alive, they've played in Chicago, and they've had Soldier Field, and it's been a thing. It's Chicago is very, very passionate about their sports, and they don't necessarily like things to change all that much. So yeah. I know a lot of people that would be upset if it was in Arlington Heights, but I guess it is what it is. Change is good. Keeps us from getting too stagnant, I guess. Let me erase this. Eraser. Get rid of your mom's box. And then after this, we're going to go ahead and get into it. Let's roll.
$4.7 billion. That's more than the GDP of 40 countries. It's enough to buy 23 Boeing 747s. And now, it's the price tag, for what could become the most ambitious stadium project in NFL history. The
That would
Chicago
look
Bears are going
amazing
all in on their
look at that,
vision
though.
for a new home that's not just a stadium.
That
It's a
lakefront
statement
is
about the future of
special.
football in America. Remember those bone-chilling days at Soldier Field? The wind cutting through your jersey like a knife, your beer freezing before you can finish it?
That's
Well,
happened.
those days are about to be...
I went to go watch the Bears play in Minneapolis, and this is back before the Vikings got their new stadium finished. So they were playing in, I believe it was Minnesota University stadium, and or Minnesota State, whatever it is up there. And it was that cold. Like, I bought a beer. It was what? The end of December, probably like December 30th or 31st, something like that. It was a couple days short of New Year. And it was cold. It was extremely cold. Half my beer was turned into slush, and it was tough. It was tough. So it'd be cool to see, like, you being able to go to a place that looks like it, or it has the feeling like it's an outdoor stadium, but it's covered. And that would be beneficial because you will never see a Super Bowl played in a cold city with an open air stadium. That's just not going to happen. So this would help Chicago actually land a Super Bowl if it works out. My chair's stuck in the ruts of the carpet. Anyway, let's go.
Nothing but stories to tell your grandkids. Because what's coming to Chicago is going to make every other NFL stadium look like your high school football field. Let me paint you a picture of what $4.7 billion gets you in 2026. We're talking about a monument to football that's going to span 326 acres. That's not a typo.
Holy cow.
326 acres.
That's
To
a
put
whole
that in
town.
perspective, you could fit 3 Disneylands inside this complex. And every single inch of it has
Yeah,
been designed to
but-
blow your mind.
So, like, Disneyland is not all that big because LA is so crowded. Disney World is spectacular. That thing, oh boy, that's all over the place. That's huge.
The centerpiece? A 65,000 seat enclosed stadium that's going to redefine what we expect from a football venue. But here's where it gets interesting. The Bears aren't just building a bigger stadium. They're building what they call a smart stadium. And trust me, this thing is practically alive. Let's start with the roof, because this isn't
be
your
cool.
daddy's retract.
Something similar to that is the stadium where the Golden State Warriors play. Since there's so much technology out here, they got a bunch of really cool things happening in that stadium. So if you ever get a chance, go there.
Dome. We're looking at a $2.1 billion engineering marvel that can open or close in just 8 minutes. But here's the crazy part.
That would
It's
be
not
amazing.
just open or closed. This roof can partially open in sections, creating different configurations for different events. Want natural light just over the field? Done. Need coverage just over the stands? You got it. The playing field
Done.
itself is like something out of a sci-fi movie. They're installing over 7,000 sensors under the turf that track everything: ball speed, player movement, impact force, you name it. Want to know how fast that touchdown
that'd be
run
wild.
was? It'll pop up on your phone before the extra point attempt. Want to see the exact force of that bone-crushing tackle? It's all there in real time. But let's talk about what matters to us fans: the experience. The Bears are installing what they call position-specific viewing areas. Want to watch the game from the quarterback's perspective? There's a section for that. Want to feel like you're in the trenches with the offensive line? They've got you covered. Each area
That's
comes with
crazy.
specialized displays showing real-time stats and analytics specific to that position group. The concourses? Forget everything you know about stadium bottlenecks. These are twice as wide as Soldier Fields, with ceilings 3 times as high. They're using something
that's
called smart
wild.
crowd flow technology that actually predicts congestion before it happens and guides
red
fans
light,
to
green
clearer
light in there.
paths through the stadium via an app. Now, let's talk food, because they're revolutionizing how we eat at games. 120 different concession points throughout.
Hey, You can't do anything big like this in Chicago and not have problems.
The shuttles use facial recognition to know where your seats are and drop you off at the optimal entrance. And get this, they're installing a network of underground tunnels that connects every part of the complex. These aren't just service tunnels, they're building a complete underground transportation system. Electric vehicles will move people and supplies through these tunnels.
That'd be cool. The facial recognition part where you're going to read my face and then usher me somehow to my seat and all that stuff. That's where I get a little creeped out. Government's very, very comfortable. And even private enterprises like this are getting comfortable just using your face for stuff without even really asking. Because then what ends up happening is that stuff goes into the law enforcement, and then they use it, and then they abuse it, and blah, blah, blah. And then they sell your facial recognition data to whoever wants it. Oh, boy. This is where the cool part of things can be a little creepy. I understand, like, getting you to your seat and being way more efficient and getting a beer in under 2 minutes. I get that, but still, like, you're helping yourself to my biometrics, and I'm not 100% sure how I feel about that.
Completely invisible to fans above ground. It's like a secret city beneath the stadium. The environmental impact,
that's a smart move.
This place is going to be greener than the turf. The entire complex will be powered by a combination of solar panels and wind.
And notice how they have a couple baseball or probably softball fields there. So they've been trying to make a deal with Chicago. And there's a lot of people that are there. All the people that pay taxes are like, nah, I don't know about paying, like chipping in for this. So it'll be interesting to see how it washes out.
Turbines. The roof collects rainwater for irrigation and plumbing. They're even building
That's
a hydroponic farm inside the stadium to grow fresh vegetables for the restaurants. But let's talk numbers for a second, because they're mind-blowing. This project is creating 48,000 construction jobs. Once it's running, it'll employ over 3,000 people full-time. The projected annual economic benefit to the region? $2 billion. That's not counting the increased property values in Arlington Heights and surrounding areas. The security system is like something out of Mission Impossible. Using a combination of AI, thermal imaging, and millimeter wave technology, you can walk right into the stadium without breaking stride. No more emptying your pockets, no more metal detectors. The system can detect prohibited items while identifying ticket holders simultaneously. And here's something nobody's talking about yet, the acoustics. They've hired the same team that designs concert halls to create what they call dynamic sound zones.
Okay.
The stadium can actually shape its acoustics differently for
Dynamic
different
sound
events.
zones.
During
Don't
Bears
you guys
games,
find it
it'll be
funny?
tuned to
Don't you find it funny when these corporations have to come up with a new term that state-of-the-art sound, but no, they have to make it all brand new. Sound premium ultimate sound dynamics. Really good speakers. Okay, cool. Thanks.
maximize crowd noise and create that intimidating home field advantage. For concerts, it can adjust to provide crystal clear sound no matter where you're sitting. The entire exterior of the stadium is covered in what they call dynamic architecture, millions of LED panels that can transform the entire appearance of the building. On game days, it can become a massive Bears logo visible from miles away. During other
sick.
events, it can display anything from abstract art to real-time social media reactions. And here's the clever part. These panels are actually solar cells, helping to power the entire complex. This isn't just a stadium anymore. This is the Bears telling the world that Chicago is ready to define what football looks like in the 21st century. $4.7 billion might sound like a lot, but when you see what they're building here, when you understand the vision, when you realize how this is going to change the way we experience football, it almost seems like a bargain. 3 years from now, we're all going to walk through those gates and experience something that's never been done before. The future of football isn't coming to Chicago. It's being built there, right now, and it's going to be absolutely epic.
Chi-Town, baby. Let me tell you something. When Chicago does it, they do it right. They come in hard. They come in heavy. We don't just win one championship. We win a three-peat, and then we don't do that once, but we do that twice. The Bears need to kick it up a notch, though. Not for anything, but this is one of the most, historied franchises in the NFL. And they've only won one championship. Thank God I was alive for that one. But it's time to get it going. I talked to some of my friends in Chicago and they laugh because I get upset. I say, you know how hard it is to be a shit talker and not have anything as far as Chicago sports, not having shit to talk. The Bears are terrible. The Bulls, I think they're trying to be good. The Cubs are, the Sox just recorded like the worst team in history. And then I thought that the Blackhawks were going to have a good year. They're getting just wiped all around the ice. Do you understand how difficult my life is? Come on, Chicago, let's get this done. It'd be interesting to see if this actually happens in the downtown area down there, or if it's going to turn into the Arlington Heights Bears. Ooh. Come on, Chicago. Let's get it going. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Share it with each and every one of your friends. And if you want to come hang out with me, watch videos while I work on creative projects, hit that subscribe button and click on the little bell icon. That way, anytime I come out with something new, you'll be alerted. Don't forget to go to coconutjustice.com and get some dope gear. And with that, I'm out.